You start the game off and you walk into that environment. You got to cherish it every single day. I mean, you really do. You felt the crowd, you felt the people, you saw. It's just awesome to see the people. I'm very lucky to be here because there's a lot of different areas that I navigate on a day to day. My wife does way more. All right, but like I'll be at different events and there's different pods of people, but this is a place that they are all here, and they're all together. And to me, it's humbling, it's awesome. I'm obviously disappointed we didn't give them something to enjoy and celebrate a little bit more, other than just their loved ones on Valentine's Day today. But I'd be remiss if I didn't say that. We come out, didn't guard early, very frustrating. I think the first probably 8 minutes. They had 22 points pretty quick. 2 games in a row, we gave up, I think, 40, 42 or something at halftime. Came out the second half, did what we needed to do, and then lost our focus in why we got to where we were. And once we reverted to what got us to the negative part of it, they flipped it. Jeremy does a good job. He's a very good coach, and they're a very good team, and they beat us today.
Brian, what was the key to that second half, whatever it was, 20-0 run or whatever it was? What was the key to that?
Yeah, we picked up our pressure a little bit differently. I thought we were sitting back a little bit, played at a better tempo. They do a good job. They switch. They do so many different things, both offensively and defensively. And we just tried to make it a game where it was a little bit more fast-paced and less thinking is probably the wrong word, but kind of a little bit more basketball than scheme. This time of the year, you're trying to steal 3 or 4 possessions as a coach through scouting. 2 or 3 on based on out of bounds. Like, can I flip it? Personally in my sick mind to go like, I'm gonna go get us 8 points, or I'm gonna go stop them from 8 points. But you got to sit there and you look in the locker room, like, we got a bunch of guys that can really play. We got to heat them up, and they did a great job. Not just these 2, but that was a huge part of flipping it.
You should have 40 plus, almost 50 points between these 2 guys.
Mm-hmm.
Your other, not Arnie, but the other positions struggled to get some points today. Is that what they were doing defensively, or just these guys happen to be really hot? So
yeah, a little bit. First me. I got to always put these guys in a position to have success. I think that they're selfless. Willing to give up the screen, give up the shot. Make that extra pass when Tyler and Jack had it rolling a little bit. And then also these guys throwing it to Arnie a little bit. Obviously, we want more production. You can't have quite as many. We just need a little bit better game from everybody to win a game like that. And that's not an individual person. That was our team didn't do enough collectively together for one another. But I think a lot of it too is they were feeding these guys because they saw what they were rolling at one point.
Jack, the last maybe 7, 8 games, shooting has become a much bigger part than it was earlier in the season for you. Is that partly because of some of the guys that are off the team right now, meaning the injuries, or is it the way the games are being played out because people have sagged back? What's different about your team?
No, I wouldn't say it's from injuries. I would just say, just flow of the game. Like, when I take my shot, when I don't. Some games I'm going to have to score, some games I'm not going to have to. But, yeah.
Tyler, clearly, they're going to you often and early. You enjoy that opportunity, I would imagine, to take the big shot.
Yeah, it's my teammates. Just trust me, and everything takes place.
Have you been a part of a game like that, Brian, where like a 20-point swing this way, 12 points back the other way? I mean,
Yeah.
It's wild, and it's a very unique game.
Yeah, it was. I'm sure at some point. I know I've been on some 20-point swings against me. There's no doubt about that. Back when there wasn't quite as many people out there. Yeah, I mean, usually in a game, in my opinion, when you got what I would consider two pretty good teams, there isn't quite the swing because it's going to kind of find its way to what is supposed to happen, right? And it's hard to turn it, but it's a credit really to both teams, I guess, is that We both are capable of going on a run. Both are capable of withstanding a run and mentally getting out of one, or getting the other team out of it. It was unique, though. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. When they, we went up 10, and there was a stretch where we just didn't do what got us there. We took questionable shots. We fouled unnecessarily. We left the guys that we were guarding, and they exploited it and executed every possession in about that little stretch. That when we were up 10 and they ended up taking a lead. Actually took a lead on a foul that was at half court. Get to the lead. I think that these guys, their pressure defensively, we heated them up a little bit better on the ball. Ran the lane in transition. Our tempo, we can play and we need to. We're not a fast. We're unique. We're a unique team. It's every days we're continuing to find who we are, but we have great size that we can play in the half court in a slower pace. But we also have really good guards that can get out and go. And I thought that our slower pace in the first half, really more so defensively, was affecting us offensively. And then we picked up the pace, talked about it at halftime. These guys did a really good job, and that's when we flipped it. And then you start we made some shots, but a lot of the shots were, I think you got a layup or something pretty quick at a half. We had a couple quick layups, a couple fouls at the rim, and I thought the momentum changed in that moment. Yeah. I think what they have 8 probably at half, threes, I think, from what I remember. Now they're still 11 for 24. Message was we have to have a lot more fight and a lot more awareness of who we're guarding at that moment. We changed a little bit of our coverages, which I thought was really good. The coaching staff I have a phenomenal coaching staff, so that was big. And then we had just more awareness on really what that person was capable of doing. With our team, where we take pride defensively, obviously tonight we weren't very good. You have a one-day prep. Everyone does. It's not an excuse at all. It's what you have to do. And it almost, I felt like it took us a little while to kind of trust what we knew they were doing through the scouting, but we had to feel it a little bit differently. And then once we felt it, we figured it out a little bit. And then we broke in that one segment, and that's where they capitalized.
And they're difficult because they have a lot of, they're not a big center like you guys
Mm-hmm.
do, but they've got a ton of overall size, a lot
Yeah.
of shots. They're a very unique team.
Yeah, they switch 1 through 5. They kind of gap you a lot. They're able to. They try to I didn't think Jack really got hurt a whole lot, just in terms of height wise. But they try to, navigate those mismatches quite a bit. He does a good job with all that. So it's a unique team, and then, they collapse when we have the high-low, and when it's all said and done, I think that, Arnie Sakanis is. He weathers a lot of hands and elbows and pushing and things like that people that don't have his aggressiveness and size need to do to capitalize on stopping him. And they do a good job of really collapsing and swatting at it and things like that. And when the game was allowed to go that direction, they're good. They're good. They're a very good defensive team. Very good.
4 games left.
Mm-hmm.
You're 2 out, and there's 6 teams just basically tied.
Yeah.
Just everything is still right in front of us.
Yeah, we just talked about it. So many things can happen, right? I mean, we saw it last year where, there's kind of a lower seeded team, beat a higher seeded team that kind of allowed us to do what we needed to do that last weekend. And you have to focus on yourself. There's no doubt about it. You got to accept. You got to be very self-aware. It's fun. I talk about it with Jack and not Tyler quite as much, but he's in a mix. He's in the mix. And that's kind of cool. I think you like being in the mix. That's good. We like having Jack in the mix, and I'm okay talking with that with our guys. Like, why are we playing 26 games and we're acting like there's not something we're chasing? I just now you can't get ahead of yourself. There's no doubt about that. but it's crazy. I mean, this league is competitive. I think if you look at our league, I might be wrong, but I was looking through some things the other day. I think there's a lot of good basketball in this league and a lot of winning teams in the league. And I think if you look at some other conferences, there's kind of the few that are up there, and then a lot of guys that are tied at 4-9, 5-10. We're all at that 10-5, 10-6, 11-4 type of deal, which says a lot about these guys, and a lot about all the other coaches in the league that know what they're doing other than me. All right.